Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Wednesday, April 9th. We have all day baseball today, but we will be focusing on the main slate this afternoon, starting at 3:45 Pacific time, 6:45 East Coast time. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all, one low price. Now, let's jump in. We're going to start with the perfect lineups and the winning lineups on both FanDuel and DraftKings. And then we will get over to some pitchers to consider and stacks. All right, so perfect lineup. We got Cole Ragans, went absolutely nuts. 10 Ks, 30.5 points. Framber Valdez had a game, 27.1. And then we had a two-man Cubs stack, two-man A's stack, and some one-offs. And then the winning lineup, the total for that perfect lineup was 251. The winning lineup was 185. They won by 7 points. Skull and Crossbones got it, won 100K. And they went with Peralta and Ragans. One of the things that I thought was, I thought was really interesting yesterday, and we talked about it briefly, was that Milwaukee Brewer pitcher Peralta was going to be chalk, and I totally didn't hate it. He had a decent game, went for 21, had 6 Ks, was good enough to get Skull and Crossbones the takedown. Lineup-wise, we have a 3-man Cub stack, then 2-man Milwaukee, and a couple one-offs. So congrats to him. We had some correlation. Didn't even really need all the correlation because Hoskins went for 6, didn't give you much. Westberg only gave for 2, so you might as well have paired with with a Cubs or Tampa bat. But all in all, great lineup for Skull and Crossbones. Got a little different with the awkward stacks, and they took it down. Now, let's get over to the perfect lineup on FanDuel. And the perfect lineup on FanDuel is Cole, 52, got it done for us. Then a 2-man A's stack, 2-man Cubs, pretty similar. And needed Churio. Churio went nuts. Schwarber went nuts. And then the winning lineup on FanDuel went to M. Holland, 303. Congrats on your 20K. Landon Root, 31 points. Got it done, and he was able to win with that out of his pitcher. We got a 4-man Cub stack, 2-man Milwaukee, and then 2 one-offs. Like that 4-2-1-1 type stack. It's one that I generally do play quite a bit. And let's get into today's slate and the lineups today. All right, starting with pitcher. Think it's a interesting slate here with pitcher. Ryan Papoy, 7,900, 35% owned. He is the chalkiest on the slate, and I think he probably should be. One, he's looked pretty good. His last 5, 2.84 FIP, 2.42 ERA, 31% K rate. The Ks have been flowing for him a bit this season. The StatCast data looks pretty good. And then the Angel splits aren't all that great. They've been decent lately, but they are striking out at a 24.6% clip. And in the Team BVP data, it shows 35% strikeout. All combined, 26.6% combined K rate. I like him. I don't mind the chalky pitcher. I am fine with quite a bit of him. Next, we got Kevin Gausman, 8,500, 32% owned. This is the spot where I'll probably jump off some chalk here. I don't think Gausman is necessary. He's looked okay to start the season, but his strikeout rate has just absolutely plummeted from, say, 2023 season. Right now, we're showing 19% K rate over his last 20, 14% over his last 5. He only has 4 strikeouts on 11.1 innings. That is just not going to cut it. We don't have a ceiling with him with that type of strikeout rate. Now, can it bounce back? Absolutely. And there's probably some positive regression for his strikeout rate in the future. However, his StatCast data doesn't look good. He's allowed 5 barreled balls, and you're facing the Red Sox and their potent offense, which team splits look absolutely great versus Gausman. I don't like Gausman today. I'm not going to have that much of him. He, out of the 2 chalkiest guys, he's the one I'm fading. Next, we got Yusei Kikuchi, 8,300, 30% owned. I think Kikuchi is a very interesting here. One, we know he has huge strikeout stuff. 30% K rate over his last 20 starts, 27.6 over the last 5. StatCast data is a little scary. What we have seen over the years from Kikuchi when he was in Toronto, a little inconsistent, but then we'll put these games together that are incredible and has a huge ceiling. When he went to the Astros, we saw consistency out of him. We saw him getting it done. Time in and time out. Now that consistency has just been a little lower. He's in the mid-teens so far, but this matchup is great. The Rays have not been great hitting the ball, striking out a decent clip, and I don't mind going back at the Rays in this spot. I think Kikuchi is going to go a little under-owned, and there's huge ceiling. I'm very interested in him in this spot. Tyler Alexander, lefty in Colorado. I can't really go there. I know some people will be. He looked great last time out, but it's just a no for me. Not in Colorado, not on this slate. At 6K, you could absolutely make an argument to go there. I'm just probably not going to. Joe Ryan, 9,500, I think is a little interesting versus the Royals. Royals haven't been hitting very well. We know Ryan has some upside, and I don't mind attacking that a little bit. The last pivot that I want was Seth Lugo versus the Royals. Versus the Twins. Twins are another team that haven't been hitting that well. The last 20 game splits aren't very good. Striking out 24%. Lugo, we know, is a solid pitcher who can work very deep into games. And those pitch counts haven't quite came around. But hey, 86 and 85, the last 2, makes me very interested in going to Lugo here. I think he can work very deep into this game. He's been good versus Minnesota before. 48 plate attempts, only hitting 214 off of him. The K rate's only 17%, but that is Lugo's game. He is efficient. He works deep into games. The K rate is lower, but the likelihood of him going 6 innings or even 7 is fairly high, and it's a decent matchup. Nobody's going there. I'm interested in Lugo. And then on the FanDuel side, let me get on today's slate. On the FanDuel side, Kikuchi and Gausman are the 2 high owned. Gausman's my fade. I like Papoy. I like Seth Lugo. I like Lugo more on FanDuel because you get the quality start action. And, those are going to be my main ones. I'm really probably sticking in this top 5 ownership-wise, but I like Lugo and Papoy quite a bit. Now, let's get over to the stacks for today and see what we can uncover. Our highest owned stack for the day is Milwaukee in Colorado. That is not surprising whatsoever. Tenzella has not been a great pitcher. Milwaukee is an effective offense, and they have 2-run total higher than anybody else on this slate. So makes total sense. I don't mind also just going to the flip of this game and going with Colorado versus Tyler Alexander. Colorado is much better versus lefties. All right. High projection. Milwaukee's also there. No surprise. And as far as, 120, 115 on a 4-game slate, that's really not that high of ownership. So I don't mind some Miami bats here. And they're value bats. We got Toronto versus Tanner Huck. Huck hasn't been great so far this year. Atlanta versus Walker. Atlanta's bats came out a little bit. They look good versus a Wheeler who actually looked pretty decent. So they got to him. I think Atlanta is a little interesting here on this slate. And then our highest ceiling, we got Boston versus Gausman. I love this stack. There's going to be some leverage in it. Gausman hasn't looked great. He is higher owned than he should be. He hasn't, and this Boston offense can get to him. They can get to anybody, especially Kevin Gausman right now with how he's throwing the ball. And then lastly, our highest leverage spot is the Phillies versus Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes, he channels his inner Kenny Powers, and he's a decent pitcher, but he can definitely get lit up a little bit. I don't mind some Philly bats. They're too good not to have a little bit on a small slate with super, super low ownership. Click the teams tab. Milwaukee, 6 with our highest implied run total. That is a huge implied run total. Atlanta, 5. Boston, 4.8. Tampa, 4.8 versus Kikuchi. There is decent hitting weather in Tampa, so I don't mind playing either side of that game a little bit with the pitchers and the hitters. Colorado, 4.5 versus Tyler Alexander. I'm interested to go there as well. Philly is all the way down at 3.5. They are probably the lowest I'm going as far as on the implied run total, who I have a little bit of interest to. Grant Holmes has allowed a lot of hard contact, high average exit velocity. The bullpen hasn't been that great. I think Philly could get to Atlanta a little bit on this slate. And that will do it for us today, guys. I do not believe I'll be back tomorrow, as I think there's only one night game, but Friday, we got another big slate, so I'll be there for it. You guys have a good one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Come join us at LineStar. We do have that 7 free day trial through the app stores, Android or iOS. Talk to y'all later. Peace.